If you don't feel like that, you should be selling something else. If you're gonna pay me $1 million to kill somebody, I'm not gonna kill them.
So that's a really interesting concept that I think a lot of people should really take on.
My first package I ever sold actually was like an $8,000 package.
For real?
Yeah, very first
appointment. So you
appointment.
went from like effectively novice sales to an $8,000 package in sales.
Yeah, and I lucked my way into it. She hit me with the spousal objection, and I was like, cool, go talk to him. And then she came back and signed up later that day. I didn't even push her. I presented the top price. I didn't know what else to do. I just didn't understand the packages. And then I just threw it down on the paper and it ended up working.
There you go. Sometimes naivety works in sales.
Yeah.
Knowing too much, obviously, that you can never know too much. But that's super interesting. But how did you feel after that? Because I can imagine it was kind of like, yeah, I'm a man, I just closed an 8K deal or something like that. But like the reality was, it was kind of by luck.
It was what you were saying before, right? External validation leads to confidence, right?
True.
So but that was internal. I experienced that internally. I watched it happen. I did it almost on accident. Like I definitely did it with intent, but at that point I was like, oh, I just sold that deal. And my my manager's like, dude, no one sells that. And you just sold that on your first one. I'm like, well, then I guess I'm good at this. I don't know.
True.
I don't know.
But then would you not agree that your charisma and how you speak to someone like built the belief that she went to go and sell it? Like you said, it was a woman that sold it to her husband and then they came back and they paid for it.
Absolutely. I would say how I communicated with her and how I cared about her and actually getting her results.
Of course. And
how I gave her a sample workout, right? Killed her. So she got a taste of how good the product was. I would say, I knew I had super strong product. I had a really, really strong belief in what could happen for her and for the results that she could get. And that gave me a ton of belief in myself. And I really cared about her, kept her goals in the center of everything.
So a strong product and a belief and would you say like a belief that you can get her there? And what would you say the third one was? So a strong product, belief, and then was there a third one?
Here, I'll tell you what it is. Belief in yourself, belief in the product or service you're offering, belief that she can actually get the results, and belief in your company. Right? I had those things.
Of course. And what gave you the belief before you even sold that? Because there's people out there that, like myself included, whenever I've started a new business, I'm like, can I even do this? Like, obviously, I know the price to entry here. Can I even do that? And I'm sure there's people that are probably selling it going, how can I believe in the product?
I would say you want to not just sell anything. Right. You want to sell something that you can believe in. So that's the very first thing that you need to do when you start selling. If you don't actually believe in what you're selling enough to the point where you actually feel like if you do not move this person forward and you aren't able to get them on your page and help them move forward with this, you're actually doing them a disservice. If you don't feel like that, you should be selling something else.
Right.
Period. Like if you don't feel like you literally let that person down by not helping them and not moving them forward, you don't have enough conviction in your product, and you should not sell them it. Period.
Okay. So
that's how I
have
feel.
you ever had that before in a product that you
have I ever had what?
Like that you don't have conviction in the product that you were selling, and then like
and I stopped selling it. I stopped selling it.
Okay.
100%.
Because you seem like quite a self-assured person. Just go, don't agree with that, move to the next. There's definitely a lot of people, self included, in the past where I'm like, no, I can make this work. This is all I've got. Like, I don't want to go to something else. How would you just move to that? Or how would you explain to someone who wants to move to a different offer if they're just in sales? Like, what would you recommend they do?
Right. You just have to flip the switch. You can't be scared. Okay, here's what messes people up. Here's what fucks a lot of people up. They get scared of the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of all of these things, and it creates analysis paralysis, right? That's one thing. And then they end up doing nothing. They stay where they are, and then they are a low performer, or they get fired, or they coast right in the middle, and they don't actually achieve what they want to achieve, and they don't hit the peak of their potential. Right? That's what it will typically end up happening if you don't make the move. So I would say, if you want to make the move, you got to ask yourself, do I really want to sell something to people that I don't believe in, that I don't even feel good about helping them do? I don't, it doesn't matter if you're making money or not, right? Like, for example, I don't necessarily agree with people having massive alcohol companies. even
Of
though you
course.
can make a ton of money, I don't actually
course.
agree and think it's a great thing because you're
Right.
harming other people. Like alcohol is poison, right? I don't
course.
like that.
Of course.
My personal views.
Yeah.
So even though I feel like I could build a successful tequila business, right? I don't want to do that because it actually creates negative outcomes for other people.
Right.
If that
And it
makes
goes against
sense.
the morals
So
effectively.
exactly. But it's developing that, right? And actually like caring about other people and
course.
wanting to help them. So if you come from that place, you're really not going to sell stuff that you don't believe in, right?
Very
And
true.
it's that simple. It's like I'm not willing to do this. If you're going to pay me $1 million to kill somebody, I'm not going to kill them. I don't want to kill them.
That's a good
Right?
way of
It's the
looking at
same
it, actually.
thing.
No, I really like that way of looking at it because, like, I'll tell you what it is. Like, a lot of people, they don't do things until it gets to an extreme. Like, people, for example, even myself in the past, the reason I stopped taking drugs and drinking a lot was because of the negative side effects of it all. Whereas you don't have to get there, but it really is just a reframe thing. Like you said, that's a really good way of looking at it. Okay, if you're selling this, would you sell like an assassin to, like a genuine assassin, not these sales assassins that we have here at PhoneSales? Would you sell a genuine assassin to someone knowing that someone's life is gonna like non-exist after that sale? No. Why? Because you don't morally agree with it. So that's a really interesting concept that I think a lot of people should really take on.